Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about grandparents and homeschooling. I am really excited about this topic. So this is a collaboration hosted by Schulte Sweetie. She's a wonderful homeschool mom, and she has opened up this collaboration with other homeschool moms just to talk about the role that grandparents play or can play in our homeschools. This is so sweet. Grandparents' Day, we are celebrating in September, and so it's just a nice time to kind of reflect and think about the ways that the grandparents really can play and have a great impact on their children and also their grandchildren. So I think that this video could be, might spur some ideas and of ways that maybe if you want your parents to be involved in your school, but you're just not sure how they could do that, maybe this will give you some ideas. Or if you don't have grandparents, this can be really just any older folks that have so much to share with us and give with us, and they know so much. And so involving the older community in our homeschool lives has a huge impact. So this might just give you some ideas for people that you could reach out and maybe invite them into your homeschool, your family, and the greater community. So I'm going to share 6 ways that you can invite them into this homeschool journey. So number 1 is storytelling time. This really, I'm just going to give some personal examples because these are ways that my parents have involved themselves in our homeschool, and then I'm going to expound on that. So for example, my mother had all of our children read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe last winter, and then she had all of her grandchildren. They are homeschooled. She invited them over to her home, and it was just like everything was built around this book that we read together, and she made like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe themed food and crafts, and it was just a wonderful time, memorable. I know that all of my children really enjoyed that, and so that is a great way to involve the grandparents is storytelling, books, throw in a unit study here and there, or pick a novel or pick a read aloud that you can do together as a family, including the grandparents, and then celebrate that and involve your parents in that. Number 2, invite them to your field trips. Yes. I can't tell you enough how much my own children really enjoy it when grandma and grandpa can make it to our field trips. So if you have a co-op, if you have field trips, if your kids have concerts, if you do, nature hikes in your local areas, invite your parents, invite your in-laws, invite people that, have an impact on your kids. Get them involved. That is going to keep them young because they're going to be doing these field trips with you, but they also have so many rich stories or insights to share, if they're on a nature walk. I know me personally, my mom is like a walking encyclopedia when it comes to the nature outside. And so they actually have so much wisdom. She was a homeschool mom of 7 kids as well. And they just have so much to share. They know like all these just, novelty things. I think that that's really great. Or the field trips that we have gone on, you actually turn those into more of like a family fun affair when you include the grandparents. Okay, my 3rd way to involve grandparents in your homeschool is handicrafts. Think about your parents and what kind of skills, assets, interests do they have that they could invest and teach your child. Not only is this helping you because they are coming alongside you and actually taking part of the education in an area that they are an expertise in or an area that interests them. So here's an example. My mom loves sewing. She's been sewing for years. And so our handicraft the last 2 terms has been sewing. And even though I know a little teeny bit of sewing, this has actually brought me alongside it. I've been able to brush up on my skills, and the girls have been able to have some, one-on-one time with their grandmother. But even the grandpas, you probably know that your father or your mother have skills and assets that they could bring to the kids. So I would love to know if you're thinking about this and maybe your mind is kind of, if the wheels are turning in your mind, it's like, what things that my parents, like what skills do they have? What handicrafts could they take and share with the kids? Or if you have a co-op, what could they share with the greater community of children? And so that's really tapping into like outside our own four walls. What can our kids receive from other people? Number 4 is family traditions. This is an area that I think that grandparents can really just thrive and do it in a way that they want to enjoy. So maybe you're a grandparent and you're watching this and you're just looking for some ideas. I'd love to have my mom on this channel someday and I can just interview her and ask her questions. But let me just share some ideas that might get that wheel turning on family traditions and how to involve the grandparents in that. So what my mom has done over the years is we used to celebrate monthly holidays. That was a lot of fun. This past year we did like a pie day, an Italian night, a game night. We did a mother's tea, I think it was like a father's like cookout. On St. Nicholas Day, my mom will have all the grandchildren over and we do like St. Nicholas things like, slippers and a craft. And so, those are just a few things picked out that you're bringing the parents, the grandparents alongside. You guys are cultivating family traditions, which really can be passed on for generations and generations. Number 5 is grandparent-led trips. So my parents host a cousin camp every year. And if this is something that sparks your interest, I'm going to link down below the book. So this wasn't my parents' idea, but this has cultivated cousin relationships like nothing else. It is something, I think it's their 4th year, and it is something that they have been counting down the days to go to when the next cousin camp. So it involves the kids going with their grandparents if they're over, I think 4 or 5 years old. They have devotion. It's like 3 or 4 days. They do crafts and swimming. They actually go to a camp. It's a whole book written about a cousin camp. And the idea behind that is you are cultivating relationships between the cousins that are going to last a lifetime, because really we want to cultivate those family relationships, which can be so difficult but the most rewarding. And so this has been something that has been super amazing, and so I wanted to highlight this on here. But that could look like for your family, maybe it could be like your grandparents hosting a sleepover night, but something that's like regular and consistent, just so they're getting that one-on-one time with the kids. And so I feel like having some sort of annual trip that's on the books, that's going to be there for the children to cultivate relationships, another opportunity for grandparents to pour into the souls of the children and share the gospel. This is just another idea, and I will link down below the cousin camp book that inspired my mom a couple years ago to start doing cousin camp. Number 6 is having your grandparents as a guest speaker. So this isn't something specifically that we have done yet, but it is something that I want to incorporate into our homeschool. I have seen other families do that, similar to involving them in like handicraft or expert topics, but actually having them come and do like a guest speaker either in your school. I'm thinking more along the lines of like a co-op. Maybe they can, do a study on like stars, or they could do a study on botany. Maybe gardening is another example. Having them as like a guest speaker when you are doing a co-op could be so rewarding, especially for the friends too. So it's like, it's not just the grandchildren at that point. It's also they're getting a chance to pour into the community of other children. Maybe they don't have grandparents, or maybe their grandparents have passed away, or they're just in a tougher situations. Well, then they're getting that beautiful opportunity to hear from our elders, which have so much to share. Overall, I think it's just important to remember that involving our grandparents can really give our children a unique perspective on different areas that maybe we can't bring to them. It also is going to strengthen the relationship with their grandparents, and that just intergenerational relationship that can be cultivated. And it's just such a rich way to expand and grow your homeschool experience. And so I would love to have you share down below if you have ideas or ways already that you have involved grandparents in your homeschool experience, or if you have some more ideas, can you please comment them down below? I think this is just an amazing topic to really talk about and mull over. And it wasn't until I sat down and I reflected, I was like, wow, there are so many ways that they have made an impact, and it is just so incredible. And I think that that is something that we can be intentional about really moving forward. And so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out Schulte Sweeties playlist down below so that you can see other moms and what they have to share about including grandparents in their homeschool routine. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.